In this movie, we're going to talk about the Ruby object type for ranges. Now, a range is going to typically be a range of numbers, right? So let's say numbers from 1 to 10. Well, we could have an array that would contain all of those numbers, or we could simply have a range, which would say, well, here's the starting point and here's the end point. It's from 1 to 10. Especially if we have something like 1 to 1,000, it makes a lot more sense to have something that just tells us the start and end point instead of trying to construct an array or something that has all 1,000 numbers in it. We can use a range instead. And there's two kinds of ranges. There's the inclusive range and the exclusive range. And the notation is right there. That's how it works. It's just the first number and then either 2 or 3 dots, depending on which one you want to use. Inclusive would be the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exclusive range would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It would exclude the last value. So it would be 1 up to but not including 10. Now, when you're programming in Ruby, you'll find that the first one, the inclusive range, is much more common. Why? Because you can see both of the values that are included, so that makes it nice and clear what's included in it, and it's one less character to type. So that saves us a little bit of typing as well. But if you need to use the exclusive range, it's there and you can use it. You could also just do 1.9, which I would say is probably more common and what I would recommend to you. Let's try them out and see how they work. So I'm going to open up IRB, and let's start by just trying out that simple inclusive range 1 to 10. You'll see that it returned 1.10 to me. It didn't return all the numbers. It didn't expand it. It kept it as a range. That's actually a range object. X equals 1.10. X class is a range. Now I want to show you something here. 1.10.class is going to give me some problems. I set the value x equal to that and then ask for its class. That's not a problem. The problem is that the dots get a little bit confusing to Ruby, and so it says, oops, I don't know what you mean. But if you put simply parentheses around it, then it clears it all up, and then it knows exactly what you mean. So just be careful with that with ranges. If you try to apply one of these methods directly to the range, it'll give you some problems. If you assign it to a value, or if you put it in those parentheses, then it will be all cleared up. We have a couple of methods that we can use here. We have x.begin, that'll return the beginning of the range, and end, that will return the end of the range. x.first is another one, and x.last. And those essentially do the same thing. Now let's try another one. Let's say y equals 1.10, another range, but this one is now exclusive range. Let's ask it for its y.begin and y.end. Notice that it still reports the same beginning and end, even though it is exclusive and inclusive. So be careful with using begin and end on your ranges, because it may not be what you expect it to return. To show you that they are actually different, though, I can say, for example, x.include question mark 1. Yes, it does. Does it include 10? Yes, it does. What if I now try that on y? Does y include 10? No, it does not. Now, what if we actually did want to expand this? What if we wanted to expand it out so that we had all of those numbers 1 through 10 in an array that we could work with? Well, there's a nice way that we can do that. If we use the array notation, the 2 square brackets, we'll put our x inside of it, and in front of the x, we'll put the asterisk, and we call that the splat operator. So the splat operator in front of it, and we'll just say z is going to be equal to that. And there's what it returns. It breaks it all out. So x is still equal to just the range, but z is now equal to all of those numbers. It just spread it out and expanded it into all of its values. Now, numbers are not the only thing that we can have as ranges. That's the most common thing we'll use. But let's say that we have a as a string, and then dot dot, and then let's put m as another string. So a to m, actually let me do that again, and we'll just set alpha equal to it. Alpha.include. Does it include G? Yes, it does include G, because G is in that range between those letters. And we can do the same thing if we have that splat operator, alpha, there we go, and now it returns all the letters A through M. So it's a good shorthand to be able to use, especially if we're working with numbers like 1 to 5,000. But that's really all there is to using ranges. You don't use them that much, but when you do use them, they're really a critical tool to help you out.